videos that I've put up with Precision Golf, lots of bits and pieces about myself getting new equipment this year. What I decided to do is do a what's in the bag. Okay, so really go through the equipment that I use, how I have it set up, and how it makes a difference to my game. All right, so here's the full bag that I play with week in, week out. Let's start wedges first, and we'll go up into the chief towards the end. All right, so wedges, I've got the Callaway Jaws Raw. Okay, now I've got a 48, a 54, and a 60, but I have them playing at 49, 54, and 59, which gives me nice even gapping all the way through. Okay, all three you'll see I've got the BBF & Co. White Lightning ferrules, which look really cool. They also are going to have the raw face to them. Okay, and the raw face is just so that we get a bit of anti-glare from that chrome finish, because a lot of the times you could be on a sunny day like today playing a wedge shot and get a lot of glare back into your eyes. So the reason for the raw isn't for added spin, it's actually to take the glare away. Okay, and you'll see here from the grinds, if I bring this up on the camera, the 48 is very standard. The 54 and the 60 though, however, have the back edge softened. Okay, so what these lovely wedges have is they have a little bit of bounce or a little bit of relief at the front edge here, which is great. Comes onto a flatter sole, which I really like. And then rather than having the peak at the bounce at the back and then falling off, I do a lot of my chipping actually with the ball position well forward, and I release the loft quite a lot. So if I have a very tall back edge to chip with, which you tend to get more in the 48, okay, I'm going to struggle to get underneath the ball and I'm going to tend to thin it quite a lot. So what I do is, as you see here, the 60 has really had quite a lot ground off the back. So it gives this lovely flat, and it gives this kind of crescent shape to the bounce on the back, because I really like the way I chip the bounce to be in the middle of the wedge rather than sat at the back. Now, when I'm playing my fuller shots, which my 48 is going to be, it's going to be much more square-faced for fuller swings, pitching from anywhere from, I guess I use my 48 or 49 degree, what it is, from, let's say, 100 yards anywhere to kind of 130, somewhere in that area. It's going to be square-faced, okay? So I want that taller back edge to help me get some bounce and get the strike location lower down in the head to get those low fizzing flights. So let's put them back in the bag. Now, irons wise, okay, let's grab 7-iron. There's a nice bog standard club. We've got the Apex MB irons, beautiful looking set of irons. I love the kind of slightly matte finish to them rather than being super shiny. You'll see the swing weight right in the back, which is another great way to be able to adjust swing weight of heads, and also gets the mass kind of really located around the back of where the ball's going to be struck in the middle of the head there nicely. Okay, again, BBF & Co. White Lightning ferrules, the shorties, which I got all the way through in the irons. Really like those. Shaft wise, I've had them all debadged, okay, but they're the Nippon Modus 120 X Flex. So I've changed from a KBS X 130 gram tour down, taking 10 grams out of the club, okay, or out of the shaft, I should say, which has really just helped me feel like I move the club a lot better. I found when I was using the KBSX, great if I was playing a lot of golf, so I've used that shaft for, well, probably 15 years now, and when I was playing a lot of golf, I get used to the weight of it. As I play less golf now and I'm coaching more, I definitely find that when I get to the top, there's a little bit of play kind of waiting for that weight to catch up, which can then have some negative effects impact, creating a little bit of a kind of, what you want to call it, flip or recovery move needed late. Now, swing weight wise with these, I have 6-iron in around about D4. The shaft length is half an inch longer than standard. So was that 37.75 for the 6-iron. And I've got a nice progression through the swing weights through the set. So my 2-iron, which we'll come into, is in around about D3. Okay, and then as we go through the set, D4 into the 6-iron, and then all the wedges are going to be in at D5. So where you've got that different length of the end of the fulcrum for swing weight, okay, it gives a nice progression rather than thinking you need to have the same swing weight for every club in your bag. The different weight's going to make them feel different. Okay, so as we go through there, set wise, again, pitching wedge up to 4-iron. So the 4-iron loft, I have my sets a degree stronger than standard. So where I've got my 49 as my my sort of least lofted specialist wedge. Pitching wedge is in at 45, which pushes the 4-iron up to 22. Okay, so a degree stronger than what they would state on the website. Now, with that, it means that I don't need a 3-iron, because what I do is I go straight in to this beast here, which is the X-Forged UT 2-iron in at 18 degrees. Okay, you'll see again the tape on the back. That's because to get the swing weight in the right place for me, okay, with the shaft and length combination, we've actually put a lighter back weight in the back of the head, and then we need to bring the weight back up a little bit by adding a little bit of lead tape. All right, so it just helps me really get the swing weight in the right place. When I had the standard back weight in, again, the swing weight pushed up to kind of D4.5, and it just, again, lagged behind me, and then I'd find myself trying to recover all that weight late on, sort of reaching for it, flipping for it, whichever way you want to call it, and really struggling to get the ball to go as straight as I would like. This is my kind of go-to, I guess, when I'm out on the golf course. This is going to kind of be a 250 carry club, I would say, and it's really my one that I go to. If I'm not really using the big stick, 3-wood doesn't come out as much, fun enough, off the tee. I tend to go between these two. If I'm not hitting the driver, I'll tend to go for the 2-iron to get the low chaser and run it out there at something like 250 to 270, and then if it's a green light hole, then the driver comes out. 3-wood, I don't find as much consistency in the direction versus the driver. They're both, if you think of fairways hit, are very similar, but I'm kind of getting the same, if you like, success rate of hitting the fairway, but I'm losing 30 yards, 25 yards with a 3-wood, whereas this is going to be much more successful in hitting the fairway, in the wind, crosswinds, lower flight, get that thing down on the ground and just get it into play if I don't like the tee shot. Perfect club, that always a go-to. Again, in the Modus 120, half-inch longer, and just a really, really comfortable club. Now, you'll see here with the grips, I've got on here the +4s, okay, in the Aligns, Golf Pride Aligns. Actually, I've been trying these out, okay, they are the +4s. I've got quite large hands, so I thought +4 would be a nice way to go. For me, I'm going to change them back. Just personally for me, because I think I've always grown up having that taper to the grip, and having the feel of a tall velvet, whereas as much as this feels really comfortable in my hand here, when I'm playing a shot, I just haven't quite got that feel. So I've redone the driver, I've got the grips in the bag to change them over, so I'll be changing them back to my standard grip setting, which is standard grip, 4 layers of tape on a ribbed tall velvet grip, but then what I do is I add 3 strips of tape in the back to make the ridge more pronounced. So I get that aligned feeling in my hands and in my sort of the crease of my fingers there. I can feel the club sitting there, but I get that tall velvet feel. Now again, you might be saying they do a tall velvet version of that. They do, but for me, when you've got these irons that have this lovely matte finish of silver, the BBF & Co. White Lightning ferrules, black, silver, white, the red stripe colour matching, call it OCD, whatever it is, doesn't fit my eye. So if I see a nice clean tall velvet grip on that head, just looks so much better. Okay, so all down to the personal preference of how you want to set your bag up. So we've gone through the 2-iron now into the 3-wood. So now we're starting to get into the heavy end of the bag. We've got the Paradigm Triple Diamond 3-wood head set to 15 degrees. Okay, lovely looking club. There's really, really good ball speeds off this actually, which I've actually found that the fairway woods now, the modern fairway woods, are just so strong. They're just like mini drivers. So you actually have to find yourself lofting them up. Quite often I'll have this set up at 16 degrees and my 2-iron at 18, where there shouldn't be much difference, but there's actually 25 yards gap. It just gaps it really nicely. At the moment, it's in at 15. We're going to trial that for a little bit. And I quite like having that kind of slightly stronger flight to it for some of the shots I want to play. And again, that nice sleek profile to it. I feel like I can launch the ball nicely anyway. Shaft-wise, this is a really cool shaft, this one. So we've got the Graphite Design Tour AD CQ7X. Now, this profile, okay, fits very nicely into the driver shaft that I come on to, where it's much stiffer in the handle end with a little bit of softness and play in the tip section. Now, quite often, that would normally be for someone that wants the club head to kick a bit, to sort of, if you like, work some loft into the golf ball. For me, the way I tend to deliver the club, actually, it just really moves well. And anytime I get too much weight low down in the head, or low down in the shaft, I should say, I lose it behind me. I then have to recover. So for me, I really like having this kind of firmer handle section that I can really pull on and actually have that nice responsive feel to the end of the club, that it's got some play, got some kick. And again, ball speed and flight on this has been fantastic. So we're going to go putter now, okay, before we go up to the driver. Now this was actually an eBay purchase that I made probably a year and a half ago. Saw it, fell in love with it. And actually what it's really done for me, it's really helped. I've actually fallen in love with putting again, just through looking down and seeing something that I really, really like. So this is a refurbed version of a Scotty Cameron Laguna 2.5. I love watching Brad Faxon putt. I wanted to putt like Brad Faxon, like we all did Tiger Woods back in the day. My obsession with putting has become Brad Faxon. So what I've done is, it's got the Tiffany paint job, okay, along with DLC finish. So it's the same finish PXG use. So it's basically a diamond-like carbon. So it basically doesn't wear. So where you might get the Black Mist version of a Scotty Cameron that wears and gives you a strike mark, I've had this for a year and a half, and there is absolutely no blemish to that head at all, with that lovely Tiffany crown in the back. And it's also got the milling on the face, which is beautiful. Okay, so this is at 35 inches long, and I have it at D8 swing weight. Okay, so there's more weight in the head because I like the feeling with this putter, having that toe flow, the extra weight in the head gives me a nice feeling for feeling the head, letting the putter up, letting it open and close, rather than trying to really overly control the natural vertical and horizontal rotation of the putter. All right, so that has made me fall in love with putting. I've also gone for a bit of a traditionalist, loving, again, growing up in the Tiger area. We've got the Blackout Ping pistol grip on it, which has been on for a little while now. But again, putter grips are something you really want to, if you like, be wary of changing, because that's so much feel in a putter grip. And you see sometimes putter grips that look like they've been on there for 10 years, but that's your feel, that's your interaction with the putter. And I'm very much someone that's got back into the kind of human nature and the art and the feel of putting rather than the mechanics. So that thing has been my baby for about a year and a half now. Okay, so we now go on to the main event, the Chief. So, changed that this year. You'll all have seen I've done some speed work, and the Callaway Sub-Zero, Epic Flash Sub-Zero, I should say, that I had before. Great driver, a little bit volatile on a toe strike. Anything hint toward the toe would turn over. Now, the way I deliver the club, I deliver it generally on a 1 to 2 degree right path and 6 or 7 degrees, 5, 6, 7 degrees up. 7 if I'm really jumping at my boots, 4 or 5 on the course, okay? With that creates a lot of natural loft through angle of attack. So I've played this head, here's the wind, I've played this head, and all my heads are a very low sort of base loft. So this is a 8 degree triple diamond head, which is a bit of a low spin monster, okay? But I've also got, you might just be able to see in the camera there, the -2 Tour sleeve in it. So if I really want to go for it and I really want to start pushing some ball speed numbers and doing some long drive bits, I play it at 7 degrees, but I can crank it down to 6 degrees when I'm really jumping at my boots, getting my maximum club speed, maximum ball speed, maximum angle of attack, and I really want to reduce that dynamic loft. Okay, so what I can do is I can get the loft down to 6. Now again, shaft-wise, this is a beauty, okay? So let's just show you that in there. Beautiful little paint job in there. Okay, this is the Accra TZ6 Gen 2. It is the M5 in the 60 gram, and it's actually 58 gram base weight, so it's a very light shaft. I came from playing the Hazardous Yellow for quite a long time and the Diamano Whiteboard before that. at 70 grams, 75 gram range. Now, this has been a big change for me to kind of move to something this light, but actually it really feels really good because, again, I can move it better. With that, I've pushed the length of it slightly because, again, drive is a very accurate club for me a lot of the time. I'm really, really comfortable with driving. So I've just experimented with this. It's the M5, it's the Extra Stiff Flex, but I've pushed it to 45.75 inches. Okay, so nothing too mad. All I've done is add a quarter of an inch. So with that, okay, we've adjusted some of the weights in the head to get the swing weight of this down to about D4. Now, anytime you make that club longer, you're going to effectively make the head heavier, so it's going to make the swing weight go up. So we've got this playing nicely at about D4. And again, if we think about the bend profile of the shaft, it's the same characteristics as the 3-wood. Very strong in the butt section, very strong in the midsection, but I've got some play to it in the tip area. Again, that for me allows me to move the club really easily, get the club in position, but then have that little bit of responsiveness to get a bit of pop out of it. And again, that little bit of pop helps to almost add a bit of loft, and then I can take off the base loft in the head to get that really nice flight. And this has been coming out, honestly, the shaft and the head have just been such a good match. I've got to say, I know Wyndham Clark plays this shaft, who's a much stronger hitter than I am, but it's for something this light, it is so stable. And again, the head, any off-center hits, ball speed's great, but it just doesn't nosedive. So my old one, especially at 7 degrees, with about, this will come out roughly somewhere between 1900 to 2 spin, something like that. And again, 6 degrees up on it. All these things are saying that thing has got the potential, if it's a little bit off, to just get off the planet. Actually, it doesn't do it at all. This thing comes out, if it goes off the planet, it's the soft bit on this end that's doing it, okay, not the club. Now, this one, I've got the grip set on as I'm going to have them in the rest of the set. I've got Golf Pride, Tall Velvet, okay. It's got 4 layers of tape all the way down, and it's got 3 extra strips, very thin strips, down the back to pronounce the ribbing in the back. So for me, with large hands, I can sit my fingers in there, and that fits me comfortably, and that's much more comfortable for me to play with and to swing. So they are all the clubs. There's one other thing in here that you'll see, okay, that I carry around with me. This one, so very similar principles to Super Speed and other companies that do the same sort of thing. It is a under overspeed training tool, and what you do is you just flick out the weights, and then you can change the weight of the head, the weight of the total club, so you can make it lighter and heavier. My driver comes in, even with that shaft, at the build weight, okay, is around about 328 grams, okay. So this is a base weight with nothing in it, is 275. So I'll do some speed training with this at 275. I'll add some weights to make it up very similar to this, okay. And then what I'll also do is I'll then load it up a little bit heavier, okay, just so that I can do some under and over speed training. But this is a great tool, and again, if what distinguishes it from other companies is the whistle that you might hear in the head. Okay, there's a whistle on the end. It creates audio feedback. So that's kind of what's in my bag. And I want to say a big thanks to these guys, Precision Golf. All right, a lot of you will see I'm an ambassador for them, but I really believe in the company. They do some unbelievable bespoke tweaks. What we do, you may notice as well in the wedges, just another one to show you. It's a nice little touch. My logo is laser printed, so rather than having the wedges stamped, I've got a laser printed logo in there as well. So just, it makes such a difference to have your clubs tailored to you. And again, like we said, swing weights measured. That's something you don't get off the rack. Going through how the different shaft combinations, rather than just having the 4 or 5 shafts that the companies do a deal with, you can have any combination you want. You can test all this out on TrackMan 4 on the best equipment, and you can really start to find something that's going to really move well for you. And I've found, as a coach myself, we'd always be told that, okay, it's the perch of swing that's doing it wrong. You're just not swinging it right. Come back for more lessons. And I'm forever sending people to them, just so that we can get the clubs right. Okay, I know the clubs then fit them, and then we can know that if anything goes wrong, it is to do with them. Because quite often I've seen people trying their hardest to make a change, and actually it's the club setup. Okay, I've had clients where they struggle with driving, couldn't get the ball in play, really became a horrible issue. They had a few lessons with me about it, and we said, right, come on, let's just make sure the driver does what it needs to do. Let's get you up to precision, and it's been an absolute game changer for them. Okay, so I can't recommend them highly enough. I can't thank them enough for all what they've done for me and helped me out building this absolutely gorgeous set that, well, I'm going to use to wear out because they're perfect. Don't want to get rid of them. Okay, they work great, they look great, and I can't wait to get out there in some tournaments and be playing them. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it goes through some of the stuff that you can get. Any questions you've got about precision golf or any information you want about my coaching, okay, you can find me on the Skillist app. I'll put the link below in the video. I'll put the link below to Precision Golf as well. And I hope you enjoyed that video. And any questions, just reach out. I'm here. Okay, I'm only on the end of an email. Great stuff. Enjoy your golf. Enjoy when you get sunny days like this. And I hope you play some great stuff and enjoy the game. Cheers.